Buenos días. Bienvenidos. Guys, welcome. So today, as you can see on the board, we have two verbs, sir and ESTAR. Now, these two verbs are critical and foundational to learning Spanish and doing well, writing and speaking the language, because they form the foundation of verbs. And once we understand their uses, we can survive in any Spanish-speaking country. So today, this video will show you the uses of both. We'll also conjugate each, and then we'll do some practice to wrap up. Okay, so as you can see on the board, we have sir, and we actually have an acronym, and we should understand what's an acronym. It's a word each that has letters, and each letter stands for a meaning to help you to remember the uses of whatever term. So the term here, the verb here is sir, and so we use it when we are talking about description, describing people, things, or places. And so the D stands for description. The O, occupation or profession. The C for characteristics. The T for time. The O, the second O, because you notice it's two O's, doctor. So the second O for origin, and finally the R for relationships or religion. So once we remember doctor, then anytime we are making up our mind, we can make up our minds better whether we should use sir or ESTAR in the particular context that we need to. So for ESTAR, the acronym is PLACE, P-L-A-C-E. P stands for position, L location, A for action, C for condition, and finally E for emotion. Now, once you have these two acronyms with regard to sir and ESTAR, your life is much easier. So let's take the sir, for example. So the description. So if I'm going to say, my mother is slim, I have to use this form because this is describing my mother. I'm describing my mother. I would not use ESTAR, right? So the example, above, let me go above it. So mi mamá es delgada. So my mother is slim. But if I want to say my mother is tired because she works so hard, then I'm going to say mi mamá está cansada. And there we should understand now that mi mamá es delgada has a different meaning from mi mamá está cansada. So, and these acronyms will help us to appreciate that. So we would not use ESTAR for describing the mommy's physical personality, physical traits and personality, because sir does not, that's what sir does for physical characteristics and personality, whereas ESTAR doesn't do it. So for emotion, the cansada would be for emotion. So this would be emotion. So that is why we would not use S with cansada, but with delgada, that would be correct, right? So, but let me help you with the conjugations because you might forget the conjugations. So let me go over here and start with, no, let me erase. Now that you understand, you would have taken this down or take a picture, a snap of it. So let us conjugate now the verb sir. We know one form already, we just use it, S up here. So let us start with, you all know the pronouns. So we know we have yo, we have tu, we have el, ella, usted, or VD or UD, nosotros, ellos, ellas, plural forms of el, ellos, plural form of ella, ellas, plural form of usted will be ustedes. I won't give you the Spain, the plural form for the two, which is vosotros, so we will not do that. We'll just focus on these forms. So for Sernov, we're going to have, so yo soy. So I am slim, yo soy delgado. You are slim, tú eres delgado or delgada, male or female. He is slim, él es delgado. She is slim, ella es delgada. Because you have to remember the gender, guys. You must always remember. Usted will be es. Nosotros somos. Ellos, ellas son. Ustedes son. So you notice, sometimes students will complain about the conjugations, but guess what? Make your life easier. Remember that for el, ella, and usted is the same form. So we actually could remove two of these and just let it remain s. So whether we're talking about he, she, or you, singular, we need just s, just s. So you don't have to remember so much now. And more important, or even better, more good news is that for the plural form now, ellos, ellas, ustedes, you only need one. You don't need to remember that it's son. So you don't have to say, you don't have to think that it's a lot to remember. So you know s, el, ella, usted for singular form, the plural form son. When the only ones we need to remember now is that yo has a different form, soy, tú eres, and nosotros somos. Somos can only go with nosotros. Isn't that interesting? So you don't have to worry, which means we. Right? So, as we have the examples up here with mi mamá es delgada, mi mamá está cansada, showing the difference. So we would not use the s, we would not use, this is ESTAR has a different conjugations. So let us go to the conjugations for ESTAR. So the pronouns remain, they never change. So whatever verb you are conjugating, it remains. So yo, so over here would be estoy, right? Tú estás. Él, ella, usted está. Nosotros estamos. And ellos, ellas, ustedes están. So there we have it. So we see that the conjugations are different, the uses are different, but both of them mean to be. To be, right? So in English, you have fewer, there is conjugation in English, but there are fewer forms. But Spanish should not be that difficult because it helps us in knowing that once they are singular, the pronouns, then it is one form. He, she, you, one form. If the plural form, ellos, they, and ellos can mean both man and woman, male and female, or just male only, boys only. Whereas the ellas only means females. So always remember that. So if you would say that the girls are the children, which boys and girls, the children are Jamaicans, we would say los niños son Jamaicanos. So son has to go with los niños because los niños is the subject and it replaces the pronoun ellos. See? Ellos. So that's just, so that helps you to understand when you make sure you use the correct verb, son, and not somos. Right? If you don't, then you will have problems, and you don't want to you don't want to have any errors in conjugating and using the right form of the conjugated form of the verb. So, but if you say now, the children and I, oh, notice this, very important. The children, los niños, I will remove the ellos since you would have got that point already. So los niños, y and I. Now I'm going to see. I want you to think. What should we have now? The children and I are Jamaicans, Jamaicanos. See? Los niños y yo. Now, this is the subject, los niños y yo. But which form, for you to know which form to use, you will have to think now as to which pronoun can be substituted for los niños y yo. So we know that los niños refers to the ellos, or can be substituted by ellos, they. But when you add yourself now, you have added yourself, it means it could not be they again. So you put yourself with others or one other person, it becomes we. If you say we, you are correct. And of course, we know that the we form, the pronoun for we is nosotros, and the form that goes with it is somos. So no other form would work except somos. So once you see yo, you would never put the son. You have to put somos, because that is what agrees with this subject here. The children and I. Los niños y yo somos jamaicanos. And so once you have this out, once this is settled with you, you are on your way to conjugating any verb in Spanish. And that makes life so easier. So you need to remember that if you are talking about ellos, they, the verb will be son, or the verb will have an N. This is also another strategy. The verb must have an N if you're referring to they. If you're referring to we, once you have added yourself, then it has to have MOS, must. Any verb goes for any verb. So once you appreciate that fact, you're on your way to conjugating verbs seamlessly, right? And so we will give you some, let me give you now examples for the ESTAR. So let's say, so there was a one there already. My mother is tired. My mama está cansada. But if I am tired, right? It would be estoy. And by the way, so I need to put yo. We don't have to always use yo, but because the verb, the conjugated forms always communicate the people, the subject being talked about or being referred to. So if once I say estoy, people know I'm talking about. Or soy, it's I. So estoy, based on the acronym PLACE. So we have the E for emotion a while ago, cansada. But let us say I am in class. So estoy en la clase. So the estoy here, the N here shows low position, right? Or location. I'm in class. So therefore, you will have to use the form of estar and not sir, right? So estoy en la clase. We are in class. You and I, right now, we are in class. So nosotros, again, we do not have to say nosotros. Just say estamos, but we're going to put it there for practice. So nosotros, but I'm going to put it bracket because often in Spanish-speaking countries, they do not use the pronouns. They prefer the ending of the verbs communicate exactly who's talking and who's being talked about. So we are in class. Nosotros estamos en la clase. Right? Let's say your friends are in class. So your friends, the word friends, I'm sure you know, amigos. So we're going to say los amigos. Then you know what? I'm going to change amigos to students. And you're still friends, no? So the student, you know the word estudiantes. So los estudiantes están, accent, no, always remember your accent, están en la clase. Right. So again, we see the difference, just like sir, we estamos, still MOS, we are in class. I could say my friends and I, and we would still get estamos. Right? So let us do that. Let us remove the nosotros and put exactly the subject, the precise subject. Lo siento, mis amigos, mis amigos. And my English is coming in. Mis amigos y yo estamos en la clase. Right. So again, the students, they están. So if you chose estamos here, it would not be correct because you're referring to they, and we established already once is they, ellos, ellas, ustedes, you plural, you're going to get están. The verb must have an N once it's they. But here we have my friends and I, which translates to we, nosotros. Then I could also have nosotras if it's only girls, females, but girls and boys, we say nosotros, and so mis amigos y yo estamos, right, en la clase. Just like los niños y yo somos jamaicanos. Again, because this is origin, so we have to say somos, but this was location, so that's why we say estamos. All right. So this is really was an interesting lesson. I hope you think so, and it really should. You should remember the what we talk about, the understanding the sir and ESTAR, and the fact that those two acronyms, doctor with sir and place with ESTAR. So you can rewatch this video to remind yourselves what has instructed you about the uses and the other points about when do we use the different forms, the estamos versus the son versus the soy, right? So please tune in next time for another exciting educational video in Spanish. Adiós, nos vemos, cuídense bien. Take care of yourselves.